Welcome to this tutorial for the GoPro Discus-2C glider for MSFS. This is the premium payware edition of this glider, and a link to purchase is in the description below. So first we'll power on the glider before we run through some of the specific instruments. We'll close the canopy and the glare shield descends, and we have a few more things to switch on before we can fly. We'll switch on nav lights, pitot heat and glare shield lights as required. We'll also switch on the control unit for the electric motor. Located just in front of the control stick is the master switch for the electric motor, so we'll switch this on too. The glider's systems are now alive, and if you wondered about the purpose of the electric motor, it powers a tiny propeller at the front of the glider, which makes it easier to maintain height and extend flight time. Okay, before we fly, let's cover some of these glider specific instruments. On the left hand side we have the variometer, which will be called a vertical speed indicator in a regular aircraft. If the needle is in the top half of this gauge, you're going up. If it's in the bottom half, you're going down. In the middle is our airspeed indicator displayed in kilometers per hour. And on the right hand side is a digital variometer. This emits an audible tone, with a high pitched noise signifying rising air and a lower pitched noise signifying descent. This instrument also displays wind direction. The instrument atop the glare shield is the FL arm. If you've played DCS, this will look familiar to you. It lights up to show traffic and obstacles around the aircraft. Note you'll have to click this to enable it. Another handy feature is the quick reference guide, which is located in the pocket by the pilot's seat. It shows the basics of gliding plus reference speeds. Takeoff is as simple as clicking connect and then launch on the winch control display. A countdown will appear, and the virtual tow plane will start to drag you into the sky. Your initial height will depend on your pitch angle during takeoff. Ideally you want to keep the glider in the center of the target on the display. You can hit release at any time during this climb, but of course you'll gain the most height if you hit release at the top of the curve. Once you hit release, you are in flight. This glider does have retractable landing gear, which can be raised and lowered with the standard hotkey. As we have the electric motor running, we can use this to assist us in our flight. Just increase or decrease your throttle like a normal aircraft. Bear in mind the battery life is limited. At full throttle you'll get about 9 minutes of battery life, which increases to half an hour to an hour at more moderate power levels. A cool feature of this glider is GoPro Mode. If you click the camera, which is located above the pilot's right shoulder, the camera will switch to this really cool cinematic view. You can return to your regular camera angles by just pressing one of your preset hotkeys. Gliders are capable of some fairly steep turns in both powered and unpowered flight. Just like a normal aircraft, you balance ailerons and rudder to make the turn and keep an eye on your vertical speed while you're doing so. Don't attempt any aerobatics in this glider or you'll find yourself nosediving towards the ground. Despite gliders having a crazy amount of lift, it's still fairly easy to stall the wing if you're careless. While you're in flight, you can use the built-in GPS for some extra situational awareness. It's pretty configurable. You can switch between a digital PFD, aircraft status, and a few other useful screens. Experiment with it and find a layout that works for you. Of course, you can also zoom in and out the GPS map, and if you've planned a flight in the world map, your destination, associated data, and a magenta line will be displayed on the GPS so you can navigate. As well as being able to glide cross-country, you can also use gliders to perform some really cool stunts, such as low-altitude passes where you can use your momentum and lift to dive low and then soar back into the sky. You can even perform touch and goes using the electric motor assist to power you back into the sky on climb out. Although remember, the electric motor and propeller are designed for maintaining altitude, not for climbing. You can't use it to take off, and it won't save you if you're in a stall. Because of its high lift and tendency to gain speed in a descent, landing a glider isn't easy. I find it easiest to come in fairly shallow at an already low speed, touch down as gently as possible, and then let the friction slow you down. Just kind of let the nose dig in and you'll come to a stop. Thank you for watching, and a huge thank you to GoPro for providing me with a copy of this aircraft. If you did find this useful, please drop a like and feel free to subscribe as I make this kind of content fairly regularly. Take care and I'll see you next time.